What's up and welcome to Idle Insights, a show where I, Treavor Bettis, get to talk to interesting people about idle champions in Dungeons & Dragons. And with me this week is Meagan Kenreck!
Hello, everyone!
Hello! I realize I usually say the amazing beforehand, and I didn't do it, so the amazing Meagan Kenreck!
Oh, I see how it is. Sort of amazing Meagan Kenreck.
I know, you are the amazing Meagan Kenreck.
Aw.
Come on now. That's why I had to put the correction there, because you are. The people need to know. And you know what? If there are some people out there who don't know who you are, who are you for the fine folks who may not know?
Hey, I am a D&D enthusiast, and my hubby is Todd Kenreck, who you've probably seen around the interwebs.
Especially if you've been watching the show for a little bit.
If you've been watching this show, yep. I have a character named Widdle, who is in Idle Champions, and she is from Heroes of the Plains. Yes. Sorry, it's only been a few months, but it feels like so long ago.
There's also other names in that to remember. It's like,
yes.
I think B-Dave was going like, okay, which one was it?
Well, there was Heroes of the Veil, and then it was Beyond Heroes. Maybe Beyond Heroes came first. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all in there though. But
I was like third gen. So yeah, Widdle is in Idle Champions. She makes you super fast, and that's who I'm going to be playing in the upcoming ICP 3.5.
Yes, which is what we're here to talk about. But before we get to that, I'm going to do my little icebreaker question that I always like to do for people on the show the first time, at least with me, because I know Todd talks to everybody. But I always like hearing people's story about how they got into D&D and TTRPGs.
I think it was like 2015 or 16. I got a group of friends together, and it wasn't D&D, but we were playing Star Wars, and that was kind of my introduction to TTRPG. And then we moved on to D&D, and I feel like as I have learned D&D, it's all been streamed, right? So there's been like this certain level of like sort of pressure to get it right. Mm-hmm. And I got kind of thrown into the frying pan, which was the best way to learn it. I'm still learning. And it's been 6 years. But like, you know, games in general, I started when I was a kid because my dad would take me to Blockbuster and we would rent video games. I think there was a Beavis and Butthead game.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
Yeah.
Oh my, you're the only.
Was that the one on the N64?
No. It was for Super Nintendo, actually.
Oh,
but there might have been a version.
No, I did I played that on a CD that I got from a computer show that it totally shouldn't have been on.
I think you're the only other person who knows about that game.
Yeah, I remember that one, and my mom did not like that I suddenly came into the other room with Beavis and Butthead quotes.
So after playing that, were you like the kid that did Beavis and Butthead impressions all the time?
Yes.
Same.
Oh yeah, I was putting my shirt over my head constantly. They're like, no, he's full ADD mode.
he's had caffeine.
Lots of it.
Yeah, I had friends who would actually ask me to stop doing those impressions. I really enjoyed the game, and I like the show too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the Star Wars game that you're talking. That's the one from Fantasy Flight, right? The one with the weird dice.
I don't remember weird dice.
Okay.
I'll have to ask Todd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, if it was okay, then that one might have been the D20 system. I'm used to the Fantasy Flight one that has just a ridiculous number of weird dice with a bunch of weird symbols on them that you have to kind of decipher when you roll.
Oh yeah, we were using regular
dice.
Yeah. And this was right before D&D Beyond.
Okay.
So I was learning this whole system, you know, like with the actual dice, and I was reading the player's handbook. And when I got into D&D, that was a huge learning curve for me, because I didn't have D&D Beyond. So I referenced player's handbook, and I was like, why are the spell levels not same as player level? What?
Oh my God, that confused me for so long.
And yeah, Todd and I had a very heated, not debate, but he was trying to explain it to me, and I'm like, still no, makes sense. Please make it make sense.
I started out on 4th edition, but I was DMing, and I was very much like, I don't really care about normal player stuff. I know monster stats. That's all I know. And then I went to play Pathfinder, which is just, you know, D&D 3.5, and there was so much more math and the spell levels and everything. I'm like, I don't understand any of this. What do you mean I have to be a player? I don't, what? No.
So is there more math in 3.5 than 5e?
I would say so. It definitely feels that way sometimes. Like when like at one point I had a character who was able to raise things and make them zombies, but it's like, no, you're gonna take this zombie template and you're gonna put it on that monster blocks template, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
add all of the numbers and divide. There was division and multiplication in that, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I'm good. I'm
No,
not.
no.
I when I got to that point, I just told my DM, I'm not gonna take that spell anymore.
It's not worth it to me.
Nope. I'm good. I cannot do math that fast.
Well, I am very grateful to the devs who created D&D Beyond. So thank you. Thank you.
I literally said to Becca Scott when I interviewed her for all of this, that D&D Beyond was like my equivalent of The Good Place when Eleanor gets the shrimp machine. I'm like, yeah, this is me. This is mine.
Accurate.
But Widdle for black for not for, yeah, for the Black Pits. Tell me about how you came up with Widdle.
I think it was about a year, 2 years ago, right
Mm-hmm.
around 2019 D&D Live. I think that was when I first started playing her, and I was trying to get away from playing elves all the time. I love elves. I love a good elf, but I wanted to play something completely opposite. So I went to D&D Beyond, and I swear I'm not trying to like sell D&D.
Oh no,
it's just okay. Like a very useful tool.
D&D Beyond's great. I talk about
great.
as much as you want.
So I rolled the most ridiculous character that I could possibly think of, and that turned out to be Widdle. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. She started off as a rock gnome rogue.
Oh,
because I was also trying to get away from magic users. And then as you know, I went back to being a wizard because I like using magic. I like being a glass cannon. And then I started practicing different voices, and I came up with I'm sure if I did my Boston accent around like Bill Burr or something, he'd probably think it was awful. But that's where I landed.
Well, look, it's fantasy Boston. It doesn't have to be real Boston.
Yes.
It's fantasy Boston.
Okay, I'm going to use that.
See, there you go. Yeah. That's what I do every time I do any accent, and someone goes, that's not right. And I'm like, good thing it doesn't exist in this world.
Yeah, like I had another character named Sophias who did sort of a generic Eastern European accent. I don't know if it was Ukrainian or Serbian, but it's somewhere over. So fantasy, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, it's in that area. It's in that general.
I'm really
area.
not good at nailing it down, but I try.
There was one character that I had that building him, I'm just like, he's gonna have an Irish accent, and then I sat down at the table and went, crap, I have to do an Irish accent this entire game. And I think by game 3, about halfway through, I had just somehow slipped into Jack Sparrow, and I was like, I don't know how I got here, and I don't know how to get back.
So you started as a Irish,
yep,
and then you ended as a drunk British pirate. And there's really no difference.
Oh, someone is going to write in mad to the show. but yeah, and so Widdle was made. You made her for D&D Live, and then brought her in for what would eventually become Hero of the Plains. How was that? How were the adventures of Widdle through that?
Well, the Adventures of Widdle. I'm trying to remember because it was a couple of years ago.
Because I know
this was before she was in Barovia, I think. But okay, I remember. Todd and I had a one-on-one shot where Widdle had attacked Strahd because her friend named Ren, who was played by Todd, was kind of kidnapped by Strahd or by a vampire. And so Widdle thought that, like head of all vampires being Strahd would know where her friend is. So she goes to Barovia and she has this whole like 6-month montage where she's creating catapults full of alchemists, undead bodies full of alchemist fire. And another NPC that Todd was playing named Mr. Edgelore. He was a Shatterkai elf.
That's so appropriate.
He had hoop earrings all the way up his ears. Super, super edgy. Super hot topic. He helped me stuff all this alchemist fire into these undead bodies and then catapult them into Castle Ravenloft, doing a whole bunch of damage. And no one ever expects you to do that. Strahd didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
And
I would not have put that on the list of things to expect from adventurers. Yeah.
you're just chilling in your coffin. All of a sudden, there's undead bodies on fire crashing through your wall. So it's a bad day. So he didn't really know what to do. I kind of threw him off his game a little bit. He almost killed me in one shot, though. But I misty stepped into his throne, and then I was dropped into Heroes of the Plains with Strahd's hand because he tried to grab me as this portal closed on him.
Oh.
And so that's how the whole group met Widdle. Like, oh God, she's already a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Literally popping into existence with just the severed hands of Strahd.
There's a gnome here with a Boston accent who has Strahd's hands, and everybody is in the prime material plane. I think they were at a bar or something. And I think Adam Bradford's character, Briv, lit that hand on fire on multiple occasions.
Oh, it was a multiple use severed
hands.
Yeah.
It was very durable.
So tell me about how, because I haven't gotten to know this. We talked about it on Champions of Lore when Widdle came to the game. Widdle is a vampire and a werewolf. Is that right?
She goes between the two. She's not really both at the same time. But when she was in Barovia, she was a Dompier. And then there was a gravekeeper named Nigel who turned out to be a werewolf or direwolf. One of the big ones that you have to kill to cure the curse.
Oh, the loop.
Lugaru.
Lugaru.
Yeah.
I always get. I start to say it. I'm like, nope. You're doing it wrong.
No, you got it. Lugaru. So Nigel the Lugaru got away after biting Widdle, and that turned her into a werewolf. And then she was a werewolf in, what was it, ICP2? That was her skin.
Yeah, the Ascendant one. Yeah,
the Ascendant. Yeah, that's a skin that's available in Idle Champions too.
I actually have had Widdle in that for almost the entirety that I've had her in the formations.
Aww.
And the other day I was like, you know what? I should put her back to her normal form for a bit because I haven't seen that for a while.
Wait a minute, Widdle is not a werewolf?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I just really got into vampires and werewolves for a while, I guess.
That sounds like me in high school.
I'm a late bloomer, I guess.
But yeah, so Widdle is gonna be in Isle Champions Presents the Black Pits, with Baloth bringing everybody to the fighting arena and whatnot. I gotta ask, what other player character are you excited for Widdle to interact with?
Havilar. That's who Aaron is playing, right?
I think that's been the #1 answer.
Well,
Wait.
I think mainly because during ICP2 there were like three groups.
Yeah.
And Widdle and Havilar didn't get to play together. We were always on each other's peripheral.
Oh yeah.
So I really want to play with Aaron because Aaron is super cool, but also I like Havilar.
Havilar is the best. I've been lucky enough to be able to be there for every Champions of Lore that she does her recaps of Idle Champions Presents as Havilar, and they are just the best.
I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about everybody.
Yeah.
And I've played with a lot of these people before. I'm super excited about playing with Jim Zub again. As
Mighty Minsk.
Yeah, I feel like Widdle and Minsk get along really well. They have this sort of over the top personality.
That's what you need when you're around Minsk.
Yeah. Exactly.
So oh my god, the question that I had it. Oh, there it was. Haha. Sorry, ADHD brain. Have you ever played in a game with Mark Mir as the DM?
No.
What do you think that's going to be like with him running the game as Baloth?
chaos and the best kind.
I,
Because
oh, good.
I love that Baloth tries to recruit people to work in the Black Pits. That's kind of his thing. But I'm really excited to see what kind of shenanigans that we're going to get into. I've never had a character that's died before, and I am totally open to that.
Oh,
for this, I don't know how bad this is gonna get, but I feel like it's gonna be intense, and I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like you saying that though just needed like a gif of B-Dave just leaning in from the back, just going, "Really?
Oh, totally.
Wait,
totally.
what?"
And B-Dave knows that I'm open to it too, and he's come close.
I do feel like there are several DMs that it is dangerous to say I'm cool with my character dying, because I feel like I would say that and then I wouldn't expect the way some of them would do it.
You know what? I probably shouldn't have said that, because I'm sure Mark Muir is now going to find some gloriously hideous way to kill my character off.
I've heard him DM and also play bad things in Black Dice Society, and that man, he knows how to mess people up. So
I love seeing his role playing. He has a very creative mind, and but I feel like also a little scary because he hasn't been my DM before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's weird that the thing that astounds me the most about Mark playing is anytime that the Isle Champions Presents has the choices that players can vote on and whatnot, and anytime it came up as the players have to rhyme, and he just kept talking the same amount and rhyming. I'm like, how are you doing this?
I don't
understand.
Like both him and Jim Zub. Jim Zub is very good at puns.
Yes.
He just spoke in puns. Like, how do you do this?
I feel like I've got too much of the writer brain where I need to sit there, write it out, look at it, decide whether it's good, delete it, write it again.
Yep.
And I can't do that fast enough for speaking. No,
I think that's the really interesting about live play games is that I feel like I'm a lot funnier on paper. Like, I think, my Twitter account, I'm making jokes all the time. So people probably think, oh, let's watch this person's live play. And then they do. And it's just.
I don't think that's right at all. I don't think that's right at all. Because I watched the first episode of Familiar Quest, and you were cracking me up from the get-go.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
The fantasy Boston accent 100% like just automatically puts it into like, I'm here for this character. I cannot wait to hear what they have to say.
Cool. So I will lean into the fantasy Boston accent then.
Yeah.
That'll be my saving grace when I can't think of a funny pun or something that rhymes.
Oh yeah, the first time it happened, Aaron, you could see that Aaron was just like, nope, not doing this. I can't do this. Nope. And I messaged her afterwards. I'm like, I would have been 100% in your same seat. It's just been like, you know what? I'll just talk less.
That's always an option.
Yeah.
If I feel like I can't think of any puns or jokes, or I've kind of lost thread a little bit, because it happens after you're playing for so many hours, I'll just be quiet and I'll just observe for a while. That's okay too.
Yeah. Consider that the Black Pits is this combat arena and whatnot. What is Widdle's combat style?
She likes to channel a lot of her magic through her blunderbuss.
Good thing to channel it through.
So she kind of looks like an artificer with a cape. And that's how, like, her blunderbuss, that's how she casts fireball and disintegration. And I'm really excited to play her again, because I've been playing Riddle, who is a rogue, and I love the simplicity of that. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the complexity of being a high level wizard, and getting to use
y'all
some
are
of
like
those.
Level 17, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of spells.
A lot of spells. I mean, I played a level 20 before.
Oh yeah.
Which, so many notes. But when you do it right, it's so gratifying.
Yeah. I think Yeah, I still haven't gotten to play a level 20 character in 5th edition. But I've always said, like, if it's one of those like one shots, like we're just doing level 20, I'm gonna be a fighter because I could not make a spellcaster and try to keep up with all of that, even with D&D Beyond. Again,
I don't
not
know how
sponsored.
people just jump right into being a spellcaster at level 20 because I have to build up to that so that I can learn how everything works.
Yeah.
Because there's so many mechanics, and the bonus action economy is the thing that gets me the most. Like I have to write out, okay, here's what you do in the sequence.
Yep. I used to run games at a bookstore for kids and stuff like that, and we'd always give them pre-made characters. And one night we decided that, all right, we're gonna do level 20. We're just gonna go wild with it. And so
Nice.
I had all these options out, and there were like 3 spellcasters in it, and some of the kids were immediately like, "Oh, I want that one." And I was just like, "All right, okay." And they were just immediately finding all of the synergies in their spells and everything. I'm like, you kids must breathe this game. Like, this is all you read.
How old were they?
Oh man, they had to be, I think those kids were between like 10 and 12. Yeah, it astounded me.
I that's amazing.
Like I threw them against Halaster Blackcloak. And like they were so on top of it that like I made a mistake, and one of the kid playing the wizard very appropriately was like, "Well, actually, Wish can." I was like, "You know what? I
The
can't be mad at
12-year-old
you."
will actually do.
I did, and I was so proud of him. I'm like, I don't even know you, kid. I'm proud of you.
That's pretty impressive. Good for them.
Yeah. But that's I'm interested to see how in a combat arena a blunderbuss shooting fireball is going to do.
I think that being a wizard in the Black Pits is going to be more advantageous than being a rogue like my other character, because she can do a lot of tricksy things. I don't remember, is time stop? Do you get that when you're level 20?
I mean, that's definitely one that you could get. I think. Well, you're an artificer, right?
No, I'm a wizard.
You're okay.
I was just saying she looks like an artificer.
That's right.
Yes.
Then yeah, I don't even know why I was gonna look it up. You could 100% get time stop at level 20 wizard.
What about level 17? I have to look that up.
Yeah, I can't remember what level that is. See, chat. This is the thing. Like, we play the game and stuff like that. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of it. There's plenty of times that when I'm DMing a game that a player is just like, and then I do this, and I just go, sure. You could be 1,000% lying to me, and I'd be okay with it.
Sounds cool. So that'll be my homework. Figuring out what kind of tricksy things I can do, because I think it's like a Coliseum.
Yes,
that Baloth runs, right?
Yeah.
So
I always picture the arena from Elder Scrolls in my head.
Yeah, same here. Or 300.
Yeah.
So you're in this confined space. So you're sort of like a cornered rat in a way. And so that's why I think, like, honestly, either a wizard or a rogue will be really good. A rogue would be really slippery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. With all of those bonus action dashes and everything like that. Oh yeah. So some changing gears a little bit, only slightly, sort of. Tell me about Squiddle.
Oh, Squiddle is a gnome squidling that I played in a familiar quest, who kind of originated from Heroes of the Plains when Widdle became Lord of Barovia.
Oh,
and
they went back and finished the business with Strahd.
Yeah. The Dark Powers, I made a deal with them to bring Freely back. So she ended up going to Barovia. And there's some artwork of Widdle, in Barovia, standing on the balcony of Castle Ravenloft, and there's 2 golems, and they're actually gnome squidlings. And I think the artist was Tyler Walpole. You can edit that if that's not correct, and I'll verify that for you, because I really want to get that right. But it's really incredible artwork, and so that's where the gnome squidling kind of originated. It's the creation of Chris Perkins and Richard Witters. Todd and I were having this kind of candid discussion on Twitter. We're like, oh, it'd be super funny if this gnome squidling walked on their tendrils and I made a little sketch of it and sent it to Richard Witters, and then he did his Richard Witters thing and made it 1,000% cooler. And then it ended up becoming canon.
I love that. That artwork, I remember seeing that on Twitter, absolutely blew me away, because it was done in the same style as like the classic Strahd shot, right? Of him on the balcony. Yeah, that's so cool.
And then there's a little Easter egg in the back of Todd's character Rend standing on top of the castle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So how was Squiddle in a familiar quest?
So Squiddle has sort of the same characteristics personality wise as Widdle.
Wasn't there a little confusion at first, like if Squiddle was Widdle?
Yeah.
There
was a bit of an identity crisis for Squiddle, because the longer Squiddle was a gnome squiddling, the more they would forget their memories of their previous, because I think there were a bunch of, it's my own story and I get it mixed up, so it's probably really confusing for anyone watching it. But Widdle created a bunch of clones of herself. There was a clone room, they were in vats and the whole 9 yards,
as you do,
as one does. And I feel like one of them got infected by a tadpole.
Oh yeah.
And
I think I remember.
So as the gnome squiddling progressed, they kind of forgot who they were, and at the end we realized that they were definitely two separate entities.
I love that. I love that kind of story.
So there was a few episodes where Squiddle would actually try convincing the enemy that, like, hey, I'm the Lord of Barovia. You need to be careful who you're talking to. Or, hey, I know the Lord of Barovia.
I'm best friends with them.
They're my BFF. We go way back. Like Tommy the Toad. That's how I tried to. The freaking betrayal. Yeah. I'm still mad.
The voice Todd did for that.
It's so good.
It was so unsettling.
It's have you ever seen Over the Garden Wall?
I haven't gotten through it, unfortunately. I it's on my list of them.
Well, if you ever do watch it, there's an episode with a pumpkin man, and he was inspired by that character. It's very much like a Savannah kind of Southern drawl.
Mm-hmm. The thing that got me the most with it is that, like, he was very just monotone and matter of fact about it. It's like, I'm just gonna eat y'all, and I'm like, what the heck?
Well, it's just business as usual. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. This is what I was hired to do, and now I'm gonna have to eat you, children. I'm sorry, what? What if we don't do that and we just become friends? We ended up hiring him.
Really?
To guard the clone room. And then we all got trapped. I'm so sorry if anyone hasn't seen it or they care to watch it, and these are spoilers, but
it is still extremely enjoyable.
We got trapped in this room that was devoid of time, and Tommy the Toad trapped us in there.
Oh jeez.
F you, Tommy the Toad. If you go into any bathroom stall in Barovia, it just says F you, Tommy the Toad.
As it should. But that was like one of the things that I really loved about Familiar Quest, because I think people may have gone into that assuming it's like, oh, it's familiars. It's just this happy-go-lucky, like, animals having a fun time. And it was like, this is set in Barovia.
Yeah. It was probably the darkest setting with a lot of really terrifying NPCs. And I think what made it fun was the familiars, because everybody was so happy-go-lucky and innocent. And we were just up against the darkest things in the multiverse, and like Gale and Meagan and my favorite pest. I just, everybody brought so much charm and wit to the story, and I think that's I hope I get to play with everyone again in that setting, or just as familiars, because that was a lot of fun.
The fact that all of you came into the first episode with the like just such strong character voices and like just immediately bouncing off each other's like yes anding and everything, like it was
Yeah, we
so
had really good
good.
chemistry.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a better way to say it. Yes, yeah, y'all had amazing chemistry.
No, what you said was right too. Because I think it's a really important thing to be able to like yes and bounce, not just a yes to everything, but have your own creative take. And they obviously did their homework, and everyone had this really elaborate, amazing backstory. Like Michelle, her character Mugen, had this Vietnamese broom, that it was sentient, and she rode it around. And
Oh yeah,
M
yeah.
M was this little rat that wanted so much to help and would rage. She was a little barbarian rat, so when she would rage, it was just like this super swole rat. But she was really polite about it. Like, at your earliest convenience, I would like to rage, please.
I loved the Luke McKay webcomic for that one. Just
Yeah.
I would like to rage, please.
Oh my god, Luke did so many good pieces of art for that show.
Yeah, and then Eugenio's Colonel Pest. I just
So
good.
Pest was a mascot. It was the most horrifying thing, and he was regenerative, and so I think he was probably the smartest character in the group for sure. He kept us grounded, but he could regenerate, and I think his character was like, no, just let me die, like I can come back. But the whole group was always like, no, we will never leave you behind.
I love that. Yeah, when I heard what creature Eugenio was playing, I was just like, don't those things die a lot?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, no, they do. It's fine. I'm like, okay.
You killed Kenny, except Pest.
But he got better. It's fine. Don't worry
he's
about
fine.
it.
He's back.
So moving to another stream game, because you're in all these awesome shows. Tell me about Legends of the Multiverse.
Legends of the Multiverse is a new show that Todd put together that's on the official D&D channel. We have a core cast of B. Dave Walters, Deborah Ann Wall, Gina Darling, and myself and Todd. We have rotating DMs with different guests every week, and we'll definitely, be sure to announce who that guest is.
Mm-hmm.
But we are on, I think we just did episode 8. That
sounds right.
This week.
I literally just saw the thumbnail before we got into this call.
It's hard for me to keep track of because we pre-record.
Yeah.
And each recording is about 5 hours long, and then we cut it.
Oh, wow.
So like we just wrapped up 20 episodes, but only episode 8 has aired. So I don't talk about anything that's happened in the game because I don't know what people have seen, and I don't remember what happened in episode 8.
That's totally fair. Yeah, the looks like the last one was Shadow of Vecna Part 2 of 2.
Yep.
Yeah. But I really do love that y'all are pre-recording it because of the edit style of the show. The fact that I mean they're only like, how long is this? An hour and 30 minutes. Yeah. The fact that it is so nicely edited and it focuses on people as they're talking and everything like that. It is a very different experience for a stream show, and I absolutely love it because I even though I'm like several episodes behind, I'm not stressed because I'm like, they're an hour and a half. Like I can just sit down in the afternoon and catch up.
Yeah, that was all Todd. He saw the kind of opportunity there in shortening the format so it's a little bit more digestible for people. So like yourself, if you are a little bit behind, you don't have 80 hours of story to get through. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
no, I know people absolutely love that, and I'm just like, that is great. I'm so happy for you. I did not have that time, and I really wish that I did.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, everyone's busy. But yeah, he worked really hard on it, and I'm really proud of him, and he put it together. He, because people still can't be at the same table together, he came up with this idea to have everyone have a piece of this space background. So at least when the editor is putting it together, our green screen backgrounds kind of make it look like we're in the
Yeah.
same space. I think people know for sure we're not, but it's maybe some kind of a placebo effect.
It still adds to a
Yeah.
really cool effect for the show.
Well,
and it also makes it so I never know when B-Dave is going to pull out a freaking sword.
Well, I thought it was funny because the first time he did it, it green screened out.
Yeah.
So it was just this ghost of a sword. Ghost sword.
Go sword. Coming this fall. Go sword.
Yeah. Yes. Anytime B-Dave sees a threat, it's a shink. It's the best noise in the world.
Oh yeah. The fact that the mic picks that up so perfectly too. I'm just like, yes, thank you.
I can see like B-Dave practicing in front of the mirror. Making sure you got the sound right.
Yeah, no, I believe that. You know
Love
what? In
you,
fact,
B-Dave.
I'm just gonna say that's canon, B-Dave. You do that. I don't care if you say you don't. You do it. So on that show, you play Riddle. Tell me about Riddle.
So Riddle is Autonome, Phantom Rogue, and she looks very cyberpunk. To kind of fit in with the whole Spelljammer vibe. We were very much inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy, and she has these like white cables for hair and kind of a clear side shave.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's thinking, you can actually see the gears turning. And she has this kind of scrap metal suit, which is sourced from Kryn.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's Widdle made her suit for her. And her feet are wheels. Just these
so cool.
all terrain wheels.
When I got to see the artwork for Legends of the Multiverse a little bit early, and like literally the first thing I said was, "Does Meagan's character have wheels for feet?"
Yep. I'm so excited that you like that as much as I do, because I thought that was super cool.
Oh yeah, no, like especially like the style of how Riddle looks in that, like you can just instantly see her just skating around. Like you saw Alita Battle Angel.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly
like,
that.
Yeah, like I loved that one woman that was in there was just sliding through everything and had the swords. It was so cool, and I could instantly see Riddle doing that.
Yeah, except she's way cooler than me because I mostly just turn into a trash can. I don't like
What?
You can edit that part out if that's a spoiler.
No, it's okay.
I did it once and now I just do it all the time. I'm a trash can now.
You know what? You do what you like. That's one of my friends will usually say that situation. My dad said, "Do what you're good at."
My mom said I could be anything I wanted when I grew up, so I became a trash can. But a really sneaky one.
So I remember that you on Twitter you posted the kind of the inspiration that you had for Riddle, and like there were so many things in there that I could totally see in the artwork itself. But like what was it that was kind of, besides Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot, what was kind of the inspiration for Riddle?
So for legal reasons, if any of these references are not okay in this interview, please feel free to remove them. So the pose reference was Korra from Tron.
Oh.
And so that's why she's kind of turning away from the camera a little bit so that you can see her wheels. But it's really funny when it's cropped. It's just like, oh, Riddle has a nice butt. That's not what I meant to do, but you know, that's what we got.
I love that.
And the other big inspiration was Transformers. That's where the wheels came in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that in her look and whatnot.
And that's why she changes form a lot. That's kind of the inspiration behind turning into a trash can. And also going into sentry mode when she sleeps.
Oh, that's fantastic. What you said she's an autonome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the new things coming in Spelljammer.
Mm-hmm.
God, I still love that we can finally say Spelljammer confirmed. I love that
I know. I'm still afraid to say it.
I know.
Is it public yet?
That's the same. Like, I know that I watched the announcement. I'm just like, I can say that, right? Like, I can, and I don't even work with wizards really. Like, I'm just some dude they may know about.
They're gonna find you.
I know,
like Disney.
You knock at my door and it's Chris Perkins. This dog just in attack mode.
Chris Perkins in a black suit. Come with me.
No, oh no. Actually, I know what I said. Like, this is either the best or the worst day of my life.
Why not both?
Yeah, you know, porque no los dos.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's an auto gnome, which has been a lot of fun to play. That extra 1d4 has come in really handy. And that's something that kind of made sense since I did want it to be related to Widdle. Widdle created this robot. And it kind of looks like her, but like way more cool, more cyberpunk. And
it's almost like designing a cosplay, but the cosplay lives.
Yes, exactly. And I kind of went back and forth when I was designing her, like if I wanted her to be a mecha, like if it was something living inside of the auto gnome, I thought that would be super cool. But I didn't want to deviate too much from the actual artwork that Nikki Dawes created, because the auto gnomes look like exactly what you would expect, like these tiny little robots. And she's still taller, but Widdle is too, and she made her in her vision. So that's what we got.
I like it. And I know you're hesitant about saying too much about the show. So why don't you give the pitch of the show, so in case people haven't checked it out yet?
The pitch of the show is Spelljammer confirmed, with special guest Brennan Lee Mulligan as the DM for the first 4 episodes, and it is phenomenal. And I highly recommend checking it out.
Live in spaceships and weird space cities and everything. It is those. I think I've only gotten to see like the first. I think I've only seen Brennan's run, but it was just so cool with everything that y'all were doing and the characters. Like besides Riddle, like the who is it that's playing the one that's
Well, there's Jimmy Legs.
The Jimmy Legs. I don't know.
There's Jimmy Legs. He's a Thri-Kreen.
Oh God.
There's normal Bonnie, who's the cook.
Yeah.
He plays Silas, the first shipmate, and then the captain of the Deciduon. I forgot his name. He plays so many amazing NPCs, but he pumps everyone up, and he's such a good storyteller. Just the first 15 minutes of episode 1, you could just see everyone is beaming with excitement, because we've all been looking forward to Spelljammer, but then we also get Brennan Lee Mulligan to DM it, so we're all just like, oh my God, I'm ready.
Yeah, he brought the energy. He brought the energy fast.
He did.
It's fantastic. Well, Meagan, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and talking about Widdle and all the other forms thereof. If people want to find you on the interwebs and what you're doing, where could they do so?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Meagan Kenreck, and you can also find me on D&D's official Twitch and YouTube channels, where Legends of the Multiverse will be on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. Once again, thank you for being on. I can't wait to see Widdle shoot some fireballs in the arena for Idle Champions Presents Black Pits.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of Idle Insights. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next week, take care of yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, everyone.